Hello. Today what we're going to do is we're going to solve some problems using some word problems that involve systems of equations. So we're going to break this down into three basic steps. After you read through the problem, of course, first thing we want to do is write our two equations. Remember, a system has at least two equations. These will all be two equation systems. From there, I will just go ahead and tell you the best way to solve these is going to be the elimination method, which we talked about in the last video. And then last but not least, usually we've been writing our answers ordered pairs, but since this is a word problem, instead of writing our answers in ordered pair, we are going to label our answers with what x means and what y means. Let's take a look at this first example. The county fair is a popular field trip destination. This year, the senior class at Midview and the senior class at North Ridgeville both planned trips there. The senior class at Midview rented and filled 10 vans and 7 buses with 235 students. North Ridgeville rented and filled 8 vans and 14 buses with 398 students. Each van and each bus carried the same number of students. How many students can a van carry? How many students can a bus carry? So, I like to know, what am I trying to answer? Since this is a system and we are going to involve two variables, there's two things we have to answer. How many students can a van carry? Since we don't know how many students a van can carry, let's call that x. How many students can a bus carry? We don't know how many students a bus can carry, so we'll call that y. From here, we can go back into our problem and figure out our equations. So, first two sentences are both kind of background information. Let's skip to the third sentence. The senior class at Midview rented and filled 10 vans and 7 buses with 235 students. We can make an equation out of that. I'm going to label it N for Midview. You don't have to do this labeling part, but I think it's helpful. We have 10 vans, so 10 times however many people can fit in a van, which we don't know, we call that x, plus 7 buses, which is 7 times how many people fit in a bus, we don't know that, we're calling it y. And our grand total of students that were on those 10 vans and 7 buses is 235, so equals 235. Now let's do the same thing with the North Ridgeville sentence, which is the next sentence. North Ridgeville rented and filled 8 vans, so 8 times however many people fit in a van, which is x, and 14 buses, so plus 14. Let me make it look more like a 14. No. Here we go. All right. 14 times however many people fit in a bus, which is y, with means equals grand total of 398 students. So, if you ignore all the words and you ignore the fact I labeled these as Midview and North Ridgeville, these two equations look like what we started with in our elimination problems. In order to solve this by elimination, we need to cancel either x's or y's. You can choose to cancel either one, totally up to you. I'm going to choose to cancel x's. So what do I need to multiply each equation by to cancel the x's? Since there's an 8 in front of x in the bottom equation, I'm going to multiply the top equation by 8. So there's a 10 in front of x in the top equation, I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 10. I am not starting with opposites, one negative, one positive. So I need to make sure I end up with one negative, one positive. So I just need to make one of the numbers I'm multiplying by negative. I'm going to go ahead and make the 8 negative. If you choose to do the 10 negative, you'll end up with the same result. Just make one of them negative. Now let's distribute. Feel free to use a calculator. We're going to run to some big numbers here. Negative 80x minus 56y equals negative 1,880. Bottom equation, positive 80x, positive 140y, 3,980. From here to eliminate, we're going to add the equations together. Negative 80x plus 80x, those cancel. That's what we wanted to happen. When I add the other stuff, I get 84y equals 2,100. To get y completely by itself, I need to divide both sides by 84. Again, feel free to use a calculator, no shame here. And when I do that, I get y equals 25. I found y, so we're good to go there. I still need to find x. So just like we did before, we are going to take the number we just got for y and plug it into y spot in one of the original equations. I am going to choose to use the top equation. I'm going to put that in for y. So the top equation becomes 10x plus 7 parentheses 25 instead of y equals 235. And then we solve our equation from there. 7 times 25 is 175. And continue solving, so subtract 175. And last but not least, divide by the number in front of x. So we get x equals 6. Ordinarily, we would write this answer as an ordered pair. We would do 6, 25. However, since it's a word problem, it makes the most sense to label our answers with words. X was how many students can fit in a van. So x equals 6 means 6 students per van. Y was how many people can fit in a bus. So y equals 25 means 25 students per bus. So again, for a word problem, don't write your answers in ordered pair. Write your answer with some words explaining what's going on with what those answers mean. What those answers mean is usually at the last sentence or two of the problem. So that's the process. Write your equations, use the elimination method to make something cancel, find both x and y, label your answers with words instead of writing as an ordered pair. Let's try one more. Tyler and Savannah are selling cheesecakes, ooh, that sounds good, for a school fundraiser. Customers can buy French silk cheesecakes and apple cheesecakes. Tyler sold 3 French silk cheesecakes and 14 apple cheesecakes for a total of $311. Savannah sold 13 French silk cheesecakes and 2 apple cheesecakes for $233. Find the cost of 1 French silk cheesecake and 1 apple cheesecake. So again, let's work backwards. What do they want us to find? They want us to find the cost of 1 French silk cheesecake. Let's go ahead and call that X. And 1 apple cheesecake, its cost also. Let's call that Y. Sort of like the last equation, we need to make 2 equations. One equation is going to be about what Tyler sold. One equation is going to be about what Savannah sold. Let's start with Tyler because his name shows up first. You don't have to label it with a T, but I find it helpful. Tyler sold 3 French silk cheesecakes. So 3 times the cost of a French silk cheesecake, which is X, plus 14 apple cheesecakes. Cost of an apple cheesecake is Y, for a total is a clue that we're going to coming up on an equal sign, 311. So Tyler's sentence looks like 3x plus 4y equals 311. Now let's make the Savannah equation. Savannah sold 13 French silk cheesecakes. So 13x is the cost of a French silk cheesecake. And 2 apple cheesecakes. So 2 times the cost of an apple cheesecake, which is y, for a total of $233. So equals 233. You can choose to cancel x's or cancel y's, up to you. Let's try canceling y's this time, just for a change of pace. So when I do that, the bottom equation has a 2 in front of y, so I'm going to multiply the top equation by 2. The top equation has a 14 in front of y, so I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 14. They're both positives. I need to end up with one positive, one negative. So I'm going to make one of the numbers I'm multiplying by negative. I'm going to make the 2 negative. You could have also made the 14 negative and the 2 positive instead if you'd rather. Up to you. Now let's distribute. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Then I get negative 28y equals negative 622. Bottom equation, some bigger numbers here. Feel free to use a calculator. 182x plus 28y equals 3,262. Okay, something should cancel. Let's see if it does. Add your equations together. Negative 6 plus 182 is 176x. Negative 28y plus 28y, those cancel, equals, and then when I add the numbers together, I get 2,640. From here, solve for x by dividing. We end up with x equals 15. we have x, now we need to find y. So I'm going to take x equals 15 and plug it into one of the original equations. I'm going to choose the top equation. I'm going to put that in the x spot, which is right here. So top equation becomes 3, 15 in parentheses instead of x, plus 14y equals 311. Multiply there, 3 times 15 is 45. Make sure you write your numbers correctly. I almost didn't. Subtract 45 from both sides. And then last but not least, divide both sides by 14. We get y equals 19. We're basically done. Again, instead of writing our answer as an ordered pair, we are going to say what this x equals 15 and what this y equals 19 means. X equals 15. X was the cost of one fringe silk cheesecake. Cost is measured in dollars. So we can say $15 for the French silk cheesecake. If you want to skip writing the word cheesecake, that's totally fine. And then y is the cost of an apple cheesecake. Again, cost is measured in dollars. So $19 for the apple cheesecake. And that does not look like what I want it to. So let me make that prettier. There we go. So that is the process for solving systems word problems. Make your two equations, use elimination, and then once you have your x and y, label your x and y with what they stand for. That is it. Have a fantastic day.